So Thursday, April 18th, I came across this post on Atari Age, which there's this gentleman that was selling a bunch of vintage retro computers, and it grabbed my attention. And I went ahead and emailed the gentleman and made an appointment, and I went over to his place to check out to see what all he had. There was a few things that immediately interested me. I was interested in picking up an Apple computer, and I was interested in the Amiga, but when I got there, he had told me the Amiga was sold. And I just wanted to say the gentleman's name was Josh, and he was so nice, and he was so knowledgeable on everything. And he was able to explain every little nook and cranny of almost every device that he had. He had a backstory, and it was really a pleasure making deals with him. Here is the stuff that I picked up. Alright, so everything on this table is what I walked away with from the sale, including this Commodore 286 PC43, and it has the keyboard and came with the manuals, which was nice, but this machine does not work. It needs some work. Taking a quick look at the inside, it doesn't have a hard drive, and it doesn't have any video at the moment, so there are some issues with it. I also picked up this Apple IIc, which is there's the computer part, which just isn't sitting right here. He had these calculators. He had a bunch of different ones, but this is just a Casio. I like to collect calculators for $5, and then he had this little Scrabble Flash game for $5 he was offering. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then he had these Amiga games that are boxed, and he was selling those for $5. And so I picked up a few of those. And then he had this Turbo C++, Borland Turbo C++, which I thought was nice, and I think he sold that for $10. And here it does say you need a 386 or higher. And he had these floppy disks, double density, and he was selling these for $10 a piece, which I was like, okay, I'm your guy. And then that brings me to the Commodore systems. He had this 64C right here. He sold this one to me for $80. It powers on, looks like it works good. I didn't give it a full testing, but if you look at the 2 key, it's a little discolored. But other than that, it looks pretty solid. And then he also sold me this Commodore bread bin version of Commodore 64. But it has some obvious issues. It has some cracks in the case. And let me take that off. It's missing the SID chip. And it has a few other problems that I'm not even aware of. So like it's in bad shape, but I thought it might be interesting to see if I could nurse it back to health. I don't know. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Back to that Apple IIc. He had this little briefcase for it, which I thought was really neat. And so he threw it into the briefcase, but this is taking a quick look at just how it is. Taking a quick look at it. So it would normally go under there. So I was happy with that purchase, and then he included the little briefcase for no extra charge to hold it, and then it also came with some accessories. some of the little manuals. And the power supply and a few discs. And I think one of these it was Oregon Trail, and he had that loaded up and was showing that to me. So when I get time, I'll dig more into the Apple IIc, but it's my first Apple computer. I've never really owned one before. And then as I was making my way through his place, I was just looking at stuff. Hey, what's that? He was like, "Do you want that?" You know, and he sold me this for $5. This little Radio Shack diskette holder, which was a deal, I thought. And he sold me this Texas Instruments computer, which I had never heard of, and that was $40. And then he sold me this TRS 80 computer, which is in the box. He had it outside the box and he was demonstrating it, and he gave me this monitor to go with it, and he sold me this for $120. And then when I expressed interest in these Run magazines, he told me, since I had bought so many other things, that I could have these magazines free of charge. So I do have some Run magazines, but these do seem much thinner than the Run magazines I remember. But I'll take a look through all those. But I was really happy with these. And and then he did sell me this Aquos LCD display for $25, and I was really happy to get that. It's a nice monitor. It works in PAL and NTSC. So overall, I thought I did well. I have a lot of little projects in here to work on, and yeah, this one here is going to be a project, this Commodore PC. It's a 286, and it doesn't have a hard drive, so I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if I can revive it, but I'll try. Anyway, that was my haul for this weekend.